I'm Allison with CFRA.
Hi, I used to listen to your radio station all the time.
I watch Grey's Anatomy like a religion. How does it feel to be able to be back here in Ottawa and receive the key to the city?
I'm almost deliriously excited right now. I can't even say delirious. It's such an honor, and I'm so happy and proud to be here. But it's also a little like, I don't know, surreal. Even this, I mean, I love this press conference. I am not used to this. But this is so exciting. I feel like, you know what, I always relate things that are like either on movies or TV, and this perhaps is not, but I feel like I'm on the West Wing right now. Like things like this, everything is exciting, and I'm just so happy and honored that you asked me.
I guess just as my follow-up, going into another season of Grey's Anatomy, what's up? What's next? Is it over between Christina and Owen?
I knew that question is going to come up somewhere. At this point, I'm going to go back to work actually next week. And we're going to start the 10th season of Grey's Anatomy, and who knows what's in store for Owen and Christina. And I don't know at all. I'll know on the first day of our read-through to see what happens to us.
Hi, Sandra. I'm Claudia Patillo with CTV Ottawa.
Hi.
So I just want to ask you a little bit about your background here and your beginnings in performance here in Ottawa. Can you share some of your memories with us?
Oh yes, there's a lot. You know, I went to, I started I guess when you think about it, you know, I started acting really young when I started performing in ballet. And I danced and studied at Le Petit Ballet with Anne Carruthers for, I don't know, maybe the age of 4 to 18. And I went to Sandra Gordon. Oh no, hold on. But you know what, my very first play I did was like in 5th grade. And it was called The Canada Goose. And it was an operetta. And I played the antagonist. I played the Wizard of Woe. And from that, and that has to do with my choir teacher, Mrs. Millett, who I think is still, she's in Vancouver somewhere. So that's like my choir teacher at Knoxdale. And then going on through Greenbank to Robert Gordon, I was a huge part of my entire time in high school was the Canadian Improv Games. I did so much of my training in improv and acting actually happened during those formative years in grade 9 to grade 13. I mean, I can't tell you how much that training affected my career so deeply. And you know, and within that, oh my gosh, and all these things are coming back. My first gig was actually probably when I was 14 or something, and it was for an industrial video about kids to not drink and drive. And that's the first time I was ever in front of a camera. And so from 14 to about 17 or 18, I was doing like IGA commercials, industrial videos, and like videos, crazy videos, just to instruct people how to do things. So a lot of my career, a lot of my early training started here.
Okay. And when it comes to giving advice to young people, especially Canadians, and young people from the community here
Yes.
in the city, what advice do you give to them to get started and follow that acting bug if they have it?
You know, I've always actually do this job, don't come into the industry unless you absolutely have to. It's very difficult. If you're going to be miserable no matter what. But if you're going to be more miserable not doing it, that is the only time that you should come into this business because it's difficult. And I'll put in a little addendum now, just because things are different and we're now in the age of social media, and I feel like for young people, the notion of fame has really, really grown and kind of superseded what I hold to be successful or meritorious, and to not be swayed by the trappings of fame and not be swayed by of being a celebrity, because it's just a very thin I don't know what string to hook yourself onto. It won't support you. But being true and really being passionate, but being passionate beyond feeling, being passionate into the realm of need. And that's the only time you should do it, because it's tough.
Thank you.
Oh, anytime.
Hi, Sandra.
Hi.
Tony LaFaro, Ottawa citizen.
Oh, hi.
How are you?
I'm great. I'm super.
Good. This is one of many awards you've received in the last number of years. And I'm wondering, it's two questions. Your parents have never really been a part of the other awards. Have they attended? And what do they feel, how do they feel about you getting the award in their hometown?
Okay.
And added to that, they, in a way, kind of disapproved of you getting into acting. I'm wondering
Oh, that's
how they
such
feel.
old news. How you think that they feel about it now?
Especially getting the award or the key to the city in your hometown.
Well, you're just like trying to get my dad to talk right now, and that is like, he'll just go on.
Why not?
So your first question is, being my parents, and I will say I have shamelessly brought my parents to almost every single award show I have ever been. One time I thought, someone should make like a reel of like the amount of time that my parents have spent on a red carpet, because there is stuff out there, I swear. So my parents have been a huge part of I guess my awards life, but this is very different. This is so different for them.
How so?
Because my entire family is here, and the entire community that I grew up with are here. I actually feel emotional just even talking about it. These are people who have watched me grow up, and these are people who are lifelong and devoted community members and friends of my family. So for me, I don't feel like this time and this moment is a singular or a solitary moment for me. This is much more of an experience that I'm sharing with my family.
These are friends from Ottawa, or
Oh yeah.
can you single them out if they are?
I will try to, because I can't wait to see them. So I'm gonna try and point something out. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, this is Sharon from the Ottawa Sun.
Hi.
Hi. You're just charming as always, that's for sure. What sort of connection do you have to Nepean? Is this a place that you come back to very often? Do you maintain friendships with people here?
Yes. Actually, I haven't been back home in quite a few years now, and that just happens to be because the way that our families kind of split up around Canada and the States, the West Coast happens to be a little bit easier because of kids and stuff. So that's why I actually haven't been physically here. But oh my God, the other night, so great. One of my closest friends, she lives here. She actually works at Carleton U. And then a bunch of my other girlfriends, and these are my girlfriends from primary school. And we all went out and we had dinner at the Black Cat. It was fantastic. Everyone's family and parents still live here and around the area, so this happened to be a great time for us all to get together. So yes, I do. Yeah.
And when you were in your bedroom in Nepean thinking about, some of your hopes and dreams, how is reality different from those things that you were thinking about?
That's such a good question.
Hey, Tony.
I don't know if when I was like lying in my bedroom, if I ever pictured that I would be sitting with Mayor Watson at the press conference. It wasn't actually anything as specific as, oh, I'm going to do something specific. It was more kind of like or even living in Los Angeles, quite honestly. I never thought that I would live in Los Angeles. I kind of thought that I would go to New York and be on Broadway. For me, theater was much more of my background. In some ways, no, I could never picture any of this. But in another way, I feel like, that drive that I was talking to you about, that drive and that need to either achieve something or to connect in some sort of way, I feel like I have experienced that in my life now. So that feeling that I think that I always was wanting to touch or wanting to come in contact with when I was young in my bedroom, I do feel I have experienced in my life. Anytime.
Hey, Sandra, Alan Neal from CBC Radio. Hello, how are you doing? Question, you were talking, we replayed today on All in a Day.
Oh my gosh, can I tell you? I was driving home from the hair salon, and I'm driving this, oh my god, Dylan. Oh my god, he's playing that thing. And then I was just like, I kind of like, oh my gosh. And that put me in such a, I don't know, it put me in such a reflective mood. Because you're asking me questions about like the experience of how it was to, how it is to receive something. So anyway, sorry, go on.
No, as long as we can use Sandra Oh listens to All in a Day on CBC Radio, I'm
Okay,
good. I think
yeah,
that's good. Well, that's the only thing.
absolutely, totally.
But I was thinking about Johnson Moretti,
Yeah.
the role that he played in improv for you
Yes.
here. I wonder now, given when you're on Grey's Anatomy, when you're filming stuff, how much of a role does improv still play? Because for people who are around then, you were awesome at improv. And I just wonder how much we see of those skills on a program like Grey's Anatomy.
I would say every day. And I remember thinking about this, and I think everyone, I mean, you use these skills all the time, every day in your job. I think everyone should learn how to improvise. And everyone should learn how to box, too. I talked about boxing for a little bit, and I just thought that is an amazing thing. Every woman should know how to box. Because that goes from the place of, in the moment, dealing with an actor, even though it's television and it's film, so it's, in all intents and purposes, you can start again. Sometimes amazing things happen when someone flubs up or someone goes up on a line and then you're able to slip in. So on just a very general acting level, it's always still there. But I would say being quick on your feet and being able to solve problems with writers on set. You can be on set and suddenly a scene doesn't work, right? So you better be able to come up with something. And a lot of people don't have that skill, and that's fine. Oh, I'll say this one thing. I just finished a film with Melissa McCarthy.
I was just going to say, that's got to do with the master of improv.
Right? She's a master improviser. And so we were out in North Carolina shooting her film, Tammy, and she co-wrote it with her husband, Ben Falcone, and those two are master improvisers. So much of the film, also with Susan Sarandon and Kathy Bates, we would just improvise, and we would have kind of like, it would be like jazz. We'd have a kind of like an outline of what the scene is, and Kathy and I came into the movie at least a full month and into the shooting of it. So here we are, we're coming in, and everyone is just free fall improvising. It's just like, so you come in and you better be quick on your feet. So, I mean, going back to your question, when do you use a skill? I used that skill last week, on the Melissa McCarthy movie, yes.
Do you still hear the voice of Johnson at all?
I remember so much. I remember his striped, his umpire's shirt, and just, his kindness in his face. Yeah.
Thanks very much.
Yeah. Nice to see you again.
Hello, Ms. O.
Hello.
I'm Jessica with CBC. I hope you don't mind me putting you on the spot with your background in improv. CBC is producing a cultural special, and we wanted to know if there's any cultural gem you can share with us about Ottawa.
A cultural gem.
It could be a statue, public art, festival, anything that kind of speaks to you as an artist.
Thank you, Tori.
This is bad, I'm taking too long. You know what I'm thinking of, like, is there something secretive that I did when I was in high school that was like such a great little gem of a place that we used to hang out, but maybe I shouldn't even mention those things. Cultural gem, okay, I'm totally gonna be totally super cheesy. And I don't even know if we can still do this. Can you be on Parliament Hill when the fireworks are going off? Living now in the States, where accessibility and security is much more stringent, what I love and what I miss about Ottawa is on Canada Day to be kind of like lying under a tree and watching the fireworks on Parliament Hill.
And this might be obvious, you kind of touched on it, but why is that important to you?
Because it reminds me of my childhood and summertime and the humidity of Ottawa and taking the bus and kind of being like independent and free for the first time, and then like go getting gelato, which was like a big thing. Being a teenager and that rich time.
Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Brian Rogers, Metroland Media. I was just wondering, how has life changed for your family that are still living here in Ottawa? Are they still in the same house in Nepean, watching the show every week? How is it different?
My mom and dad, and there's my sister. My parents still live in Nepean and actually don't live in our childhood home. They kind of downsize, as many parents do when all the children have flown the nest. But I think they're like diehard fans. If they're not watching it, they'll record it. And then if for some reason it's, they haven't recorded it or somehow, sometimes it doesn't play. Sometimes they skip a week or so. They'll call me and say, why wasn't it on? So yes, my parents are still here, but my siblings live elsewhere.
And have they been gotten to know as Sandra Oh's parents? Is it a very common thing?
I don't know, is it? My mom just shook her head. My dad would go this. My mom's like this. My parents are well known as themselves in the Korean community. But as I said before, I don't know how many times that they have been. Did you ever see, I shamelessly brought them on Jimmy Kimmel once. Did anyone ever catch that one? It was a good one. Because actually my brother was not well and he happened to have been in the hospital in Boston. And I told him, hey, I'm going to be on Kimmel tonight. I'm bringing mom and dad. Watch this. And so Jimmy, who's a great improviser, I eventually did this bit with mom and dad, and it's just like, they're so amazing. All you have to do is shoot them, and there's story and wonderfulness. And I gave a shout out to my brother because he was in the hospital. Yeah.
Great, thanks.
You're welcome.
And I think that concludes it. We're now at 6:40, so thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much.